Space Marine 2 is here. We are diving headfirst into the 41st millennium, destroying waves of Xeno scum and filthy traitors in the name of the God Emperor. Oh, yeah! 14 years later, we're stepping back into the shoes of the 8-foot-tall Angels of Death, the Space Marines. But is it actually any good? Does it live up to the hype? And is this a serious Game of the Year contender? Well, I've been playing a bunch in the last few days to answer those very questions. So grab your chainsword and your bolt gun, and let's talk about Space Marine 2. Get some!
Do not let them surround you.
Yeah!
What are they doing?
Space Marine 2 sees us play as Titus, following on the events from the first game. We join him as a part of the Death Watch, and I should mention that you don't need to have played the first game to play this one. It explains a lot of it throughout the game. And I should also mention, this is one of the coolest openings to a game I've ever seen. Yeah! Holy shit! Oh, after crash landing on the surface, we enter the tutorial area of the game, where we meet the Tyranids, get to grips with the combat system, and start crushing their skulls. Oh, yeah! The campaign isn't anything groundbreaking in terms of story. It honestly plays out a lot like the early Call of Duty campaigns, just military dudes doing military things. We follow the various missions Titus and the squad are being directed on by the very stern, very Scottish Captain Akaran.
You're a lieutenant now. Will that be a problem?
The story ultimately leads into chaos, and we have to deal with the traitors. Small pieces of information about Titus's backstory come up throughout the game, and we end up having a few revelations related to chaos. Oh, hello! Oh, yes! What I like about the campaign of Space Marine 2 is that it's simple. It follows a formula that just works. There's not too much storytelling and fluff thrown at you for the universe, action set pieces in each level that are the highlight. Oh shit. Oh yeah, get it. Yeah! And some incredible cutscenes that are violent and gory. I think it's perfect for new players to get into this. There's not too much going on that you don't need to understand. No extra world building or massive characters that you need to worry about until one part towards the end of the game. But I think Space Marine 2's story will hit differently depending on what experience you are hoping for. If you are looking for a character-driven and compelling story that fleshes out many of the main cast, I think you will be a little bit disappointed. However, if you're just joining the universe and you want to be taken on a ride into 40k, then this is the perfect story to do that. Around 6 to 8 hour experience that doesn't slow down all the way up until its climactic ending. Whoa! Oh, from the top rope! Right from the start of the game, it's apparent how much weight everything has. You are a walking tank, essentially, with the speed and power to rip things apart with your literal bare hands. Say hello to you in the face. Ah! Yeah! Each swing of your chainsaw and every bolter shot you fire has impact and feels heavy. This is the very essence of gameplay. It's captured throughout the game. I also think you should hit the like button and the subscribe button for the amount of times I say yeah in this video, or if you just like the content. Space Marine 2 plays much differently than I expected this time round. The previous game played a lot like an action shooter hack and slash, and this plays more like God of War 2018, with a range combat mixed in. You can parry and do combos with each of the melee weapons in the game, and it's quite essential, but the game really starts to flow when you master that timing. Parrying enemies at the right time creates a gun strike opportunity. Killing an enemy with a gun strike gives you back armor, and all whilst hitting the always has been to every enemy that you shoot. Fun strikes aren't the only way that you get armor back in this game. We of course have the executions that are just as brutal and violent as ever. Come here, you. Yeah! I just teleported. We love that though. There's no better feeling than catching a Tyranid mid-launch and slamming them into the ground with velocity. No you don't. Crush! Ripping their entire jaw open. Come here, you. Oh! Give them the business. Oh, yes! Using their own claws to stab themselves. Oh! Yeah! Oh! Yeah! Get some! And ripping them in half with a chainsaw. Chainsaw time? Chainsaw time! This is just a small example of how brutal and satisfying it is to kill things in this game. And not to mention, these executions extend to the chaos as well. Oh. Yeah! So how are we going to be dealing with the variety of Xenos in the game? With a variety of killing weapons, of course. You have the melee weapons, such as the chainsword. Chainsaw! Yeah! There's also the combat knife. Come here, you. Oh, yeah! With the knife and the gutting and the thing. You have the electrifying power sword. Oh, yeah. Slam! And you also have the power hammer, which paired with an assault pack is a devastating combo. Oh, I've got a power hammer! I've got a power hammer! Let me deal with it! And last but not least, we have the power fist. What is the fist? Say to the face! Boom! All of these melee weapons feel quite distinct to one another, as opposed to the range weapons where there's a few small variations in the form of a bolter, a carbine, a single shot or a full auto, a heavy bolt pistol and a bolter variant of that, all designed to do the maximum amount of damage. Shout out to the heavy bolter though, it feels like a magnum and I love it. No, you don't. My real joy was the variety in specialist weapons that have their own brand of destruction. Let's just show you the plasma pistol. It's got to be the most satisfying feeling to see something spontaneously combust in superheated plasma. Oh! Oh, plasma! Oh, and it has a heavier cousin that does just as much damage. And boom! But it doesn't start with the plasma weapon. You also have the multi-melter, which is essentially a space shotgun that dishes out a lot of damage. Oh, we took his top off. Nice. It comes in both small and large variants, so you can pick and choose what you want. And lastly, we have the sniper variants, such as the las fusil and the regular sniper, and as you can imagine, they do the following. Oh, one more. Yes. Nicely dealt with. Oh, let me see what I can do there. Oh, yes! The combat in Space Marine 2 isn't perfect by any stretch, but it certainly captures the feeling of what an action game should be in this universe. Over the top, in your face, and brutal. It reminds me a lot of 2016 Doom, and funny enough, Tim Willits, who worked on that game, now also works at Saber. There's a lot of parallels with that game and this one. It can feel clunky and it takes a few hours to get down, but it gets so much better when you master it and you dive into the post-game content with all of the various classes. It's exactly what I wanted from a Space Marine game, just awesome. Both campaign and gameplay are fantastic, but what really seals the deal as a complete package is how well Space Marine captures 40k. I've played many 40k games in my time, and they do a pretty decent job of capturing the essence of the franchise. Space Marine 2, however, blows each and every one of them out of the water. There is a level of both attention to detail and scale that Saber has brought to the table. It was apparent to me as soon as I got access to the photo mode. Let's get real. Oh, look at the detail. Look at him. Good God, man. This is insane. Every detail on a Marine's armor, every claw or fang on the Tyranids, even the servitors and the cherubs and the books and things around the hub area are awesome. And just so you know, Happy Titus can't get you even if you see him in your dreams. Just walking through the numerous sections of the game, I was in genuine awe. Battle scenes that are filled with giant explosions, hundreds of gargoyle swarms in the sky that you can actually shoot and hit them if you take pot shots, las rifle fire from the Imperial Guard. Walking through these simply incredible and large cities makes you feel small even as an 8-foot tall space marine. It doesn't stop in the campaign either. There's a co-op mission that has the entire backdrop of a hive city clouded in a desert storm. And you just have to sit back for a moment and take it all in. I could go on and on about visuals and aesthetic, but it's moments that I catch myself in the world. There's a moment with the Imperial captain that is standing on top of a Baneblade tank rallying their men, or the captain of the Space Marines spouting a speech to their fellow brothers that I appreciate. Saber really injected the Warhammer into the Warhammer game, and it shows how passionate they are to write a massive love letter to fans of 40k while also bringing in a whole new wave. I do have to mention the game ran incredibly well on my system with no frame drops or stutters on PC, and I've got a pretty decent rig, and I was also streaming as well. I've had a crash or two here and there, but it's been funny enough when I've been standing around, not during intense gameplay, in the battle barge area. I'm not blind to other people having performance issues. Saber apparently is working on them, and I don't know how this will perform on consoles either, so I'm hoping that it's running well too. So let us check the list. We have the campaign, we have gameplay, we have visuals and aesthetics. The last thing on our list is the post-campaign content. 6 missions, 6 classes, 4 difficulties, and a battle brother in a pear tree. There is quite a bit to sink your teeth into. The missions are a different side of the narrative, so whilst Titus is fighting his way to a tech priest, the other team is off hunting a hive tyrant to help him out. We are on the other side that you'll see when you play through the campaign. Each of the missions vary from around 12 to 30 minutes as you play. You earn XP, requisition points, and you can also find data and additional items in the mission to grant bonus XP and data for upgrades. The bulk of the time is spent either in missions or customization of your own Space Marine. You can do every single piece of their armor, and you can unlock more as you play more of the game. There's like about 40 odd missions that you need to do to unlock the end cosmetic, and you can buy chapter markings, you can buy covers for your favorite chapters, and it looks like they have plans to add in their own specialist cosmetics for specific chapters, like the Dark Angels. You can play them in the game and have those colors, but there'll be something specific to that chapter, which is in the season pass already. So you get XP, you get requisition points. Simple and easy. The depth here is having the 6 classes to play and progress with. They include the Tactical, the Assault, the Vanguard, the Bulwark, the Sniper, and the Heavy. Each class has a perk tree, which includes core perks that help yourself out, team perks that help your team out, obviously, gear, and a signature perk. For example, when I pop my Iron Halo as a Heavy, I give my allies 20% ranged damage. There are of course multiple weapons per class to choose from that are upgraded via XP and data that you can find in the missions, and the higher tier missions you do, the better the data you will find. Weapons start at standard, then go into mastercrafted, artificer, and then relic, each having variations that have different stats that affect your gameplay, and different cosmetics that you can use when you get further through. They also have their own perk tree that you can select when you master a specific weapon to be able to upgrade it. The post-game progression systems can easily add 20 hours onto the base game for just one class, and that's what I put in a lot of time already on the Heavy, and more for maxing out each of the weapons and the class trees. It's enjoyable, but will get repetitive. Thankfully, there will be new missions, enemies, and weapons coming over the course of the next year to keep players interested. I'm most looking forward to the Horde mode, but that's not going to be until probably this time next year when they get through their main content plan. Having this extra content is nice. It's an extension of the core gameplay I've already mentioned in the video, and if anything, it improves it with the addition of classes. The joy I have is listening to your Marines go back and forth talking about how much they love each other.
Your battle awareness is impeccable, brother.
Your pace is adequate.
Then I will trust you will tell me otherwise.
Keeping my brothers alive is the only honor I require.
The sexual tension between the group is hilarious. You look tight as fuck in that gear, brother. It's also hilarious to see how many times they say brother to each other in both the campaign and the PvE missions, and it rubbed off on me to the point where I couldn't stop saying it either. Brothers. Brother. I briefly want to mention PvP, but I want to make my own separate video diving into why I love it so much. It's a great addition to the game, even though it feels tacked on. So stay tuned for another video on that. At the start of the video, I asked 3 questions. Is Space Marine 2 any good? Yes. Does it live up to the hype? Yes. Is it a Game of the Year contender? Kinda. Whilst for me, it will sit firmly at the top of my list of games in 2024, it's got some hard competition to go up against. But it could do the unthinkable and pull off an upset in the final nominations. However, I do think it will probably win Action Game of the Year, and that's my bold prediction that I'm putting down right now. In the end, it's all subjective and opinions, so we won't know until then. For now though, I can give my final verdict. I can fully recommend that you play Space Marine 2. It offers a complete experience right out of the box, gameplay that's in your face, that's brutal and visceral, an amazing look at the 40k universe, a 6 to 10 hour campaign with post-game content as well, a pretty fun PvP, and it's 100% awesome. You get all of this for a pretty reasonable price point with no extra microtransactions in game, with free updates on the way, and I am going to be playing a hell of a lot more of this game, so go and check it out. Thank you very much for watching this type of video. If you've enjoyed it, once again, and have enjoyed these types of reviews, make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe if you're new, and leave a comment in the comment section telling me your favorite moment in Space Marine so far. As always, this has been Jimbo, and I'll see you guys next time.